Tampa Bay's entrepreneurial community, and highlights our community leaders, aiming to inspire and educate our listeners. Become a part of the entrepreneurial movement today by becoming a member of the Tampa Bay Business Owners and get your brand on air today. Visit TampaBayRadio.com for more information. All shows available on demand. Now, here are your hosts, Jamie and Kelly.
Hey, good morning, everybody, and welcome to the start of another program of That Business Show with Jamie and Kelly, where business becomes show business. We appreciate you all tuning in wherever it may be, whether it's on the AM band each and every morning live here in the Tampa Bay region or across the globe, I should say, with podcast sites all over the place now. We've put the program across multiple sites, including iTunes, Stitcher, TuneIn, Google Play, a lot of different places to promote the program. And so wherever you're listening, we thank you for tuning in. And as always, if you're finding the program on the air or on a podcast site for the first time, we appreciate you taking a listen to it. And you can learn more at TampaBayRadio.com, also ThatBusinessShow.com. And each morning we come in here and work to inspire our listeners to start a business or step outside the box and do something that they love by hearing from different business and community leaders. Joined in studio by our co-host, Kelly Wilson, owner of the Edge Business Magazine, Edge Business Community. Kelly, good morning to you.
Good morning.
How are you doing today?
I am tired.
You look a little tired. Well,
I forgot to put eyeliner on this morning. I don't know how I think when you're half asleep trying to put makeup on, it's just like you forget something in the morning. I start to leave and I'm like, something doesn't look right. I still look like I'm asleep, and then I realize I forgot eyeliner. I'm here.
Kelly has been at the program now for about 6 weeks.
Actually, we're hitting 2 months on the 13th.
2 months? Is it 2 months? And she is not used to getting up so early.
I don't know that I'll ever get used to it.
She arrives on Kelly time, as I say, right on the dot every single show. But she makes it in here every morning, so we appreciate that.
But like right in time, yeah. I like how there's Kelly time now defined. Yeah, that's kind of cool.
Kelly time, yes. That's time when you get to right on the dot, as opposed to what I like to arrive by, which is Lombardi time, which is like 10 to 15 minutes early, no matter what time you're supposed to be there.
Yeah, him and I don't work. Jamie and I, we're going to have issues with that as long as you're Lombardi time and I'm Kelly time, because whenever we do anything together, he arrives 20 minutes early. I'm like, you got to sit and wait. I don't know what to tell you.
So we got to go to a segment here planned for you. We've got Dr. Steve Knobl in studio with us this morning. He is the Chief Executive Officer for the Early Learning Coalition of Hillsborough County. And so, Dr. Steve, welcome to the program today.
Thank you. Thanks for the opportunity to be here. Appreciate it.
It's early, right?
It sure is. I had no traffic to deal with coming down from South Pasco.
That is the advantage of being up at this early.
Now, you've recently been appointed to this position, am I correct, CEO?
Yes, so I've been in the role similar to you, Kelly. It'll be, a month more. It'll be 3 months next week. So
congratulations.
Thank you. It's been fast and furious. I'm excited.
Oh, all right, so tell us, what is the Early Learning Coalition?
So essentially what we do is we're the conduit between the state and the providers, who provide the quality early learning opportunities for our kids and our community. And so what we do is the money that funnels through the state comes through us, and those revenue streams support our children from essentially birth till when they enter kindergarten.
Okay, so when I think of early learning, I remember my first time in a school was, I think, 4 years old. I went to preschool and then kindergarten, and then started first grade. I'm not familiar with the educational system here in Hillsborough County. I grew up in West Virginia. I don't have any children. So at what age are children getting involved in the educational system here in Hillsborough County?
It's a great question. We've got, it pretty much runs the gamut as large as Hillsborough County is geographically and the landscape. So we've got children that when their parents need to get back to work, they take a short maternity leave. It could be 2 months or 3 months, and we've got infants in some of our centers. I would say the majority of our parents have their children enter at the age of 3. Some in between ages 2 and 3 when they enter. Some enter in half days, some enter full days. It really depends on the parents' work schedule and what they can afford to do in terms of that.
Now, are these at that age, are they public or private institutions, or are there a mixture of both
Yes.
at pre-K levels?
There's about 1,300 early child care centers throughout Hillsborough County, and they vary not only in size and scope, but they vary in whether they're private, whether they're faith-based, whether they're home centers, or whether they're the
And so how does the
franchise size.
ELC then come into play with the private institutions, or does it? Is this strictly just for publicly funded institutions?
It depends on if they're what they're doing with us. It can get kind of complicated. So some of the centers, essentially, besides licensing, we won't have much activity with those centers. But we have several programs with grants and things like that we monitor those. We send coaches in to support those teachers, and I would say that's about half of the centers.
So regardless, all of the centers are under one umbrella, kind of like are overseen by.
Yes, I would say under licensing. That would be the easiest way to explain it.
And so then how are you then overseeing all of them to make sure that the curriculum or the staff or everything is adequate in a sense or
Yes.
run the way it's supposed to be?
Yes, the ones that are partnered with us outside of that licensing scope, which is several hundred, that our coaching teams go in and monitor and work with them to produce the best quality that we can give
So
for
what
the
are the
kids.
advantages then of being partnered with you?
Well, I think the first one would be the supports. We can get in there and we can send coaches in, work directly with teachers. We can fund improvements in quality in terms of upgrading their classrooms, providing scholarships for teachers to take additional classes. So a lot of benefits for a center to.
Now, is this something that's unique to Hillsborough County, the Early Learning Coalition? Is this something that other counties also have a derivative thereof, or is this something unique to Hillsborough County? And why did Hillsborough County move forward with the Early Learning Coalition?
So across the state, essentially, there's 31 coalitions, and depending on the size, we're the second largest in the state, behind obviously Miami-Dade, which is by far the largest. But an example of a paired model is Pasco and Hernando, just because of the size and scope. So, but there's 31 coalitions. Everybody's under that umbrella through our Office of Early Learning up in Tallahassee. So it's mandated that all 67 districts in Florida have that.
How important is early learning for the children prior to going into a kindergarten? I was just having that conversation. I have a granddaughter that is 4 now. She'll be starting kindergarten in the fall, and we were talking, how important is it for her to have that interaction and be into a preschool, because she's never has. She's fortunately had family that she's been able to be with.
Yeah, there's so much research out there. I think, one of the things that I always speak to folks about, there's a Nobel Prize winning economist, James Heckman, and he puts it best. If I could just read this short, statement, it's the road to college attainment, higher wages, and social mobility in the U.S. starts at birth. The greatest barrier to a college education is not the high tuition or the risk of student debt. It's that the skills children have when they first enter kindergarten.
Wow.
Really?
And so it's, it's
So that can set the
it sets
stage for
and
their education.
And just to give you a little story, I started my career as an elementary school teacher well over 20 years ago, and I was shocked when the principal brought me in after teaching 4th grade the first year and said, the only job I have is a 1st grade position. And I said, 1st grade, how old are those kids again? And she said they're 6 and 7. And I said, oh my gosh. And so, but being 22 and young guy, I said, all
You're
right.
energetic,
and I
right?
need a
I can do
job.
it,
So I'm
okay.
like, all right, I'll take it. Teacher was on maternity leave. So, but how compelling it was for me to see by the end of the school year, and from talking to veteran teachers, it's not a negative in any way, but I could eyeball and pick out children that did not have an experience before they got to us in elementary school, and that put them behind. And so it creates a situation for us as a society. And
What is the difference that you noticed with the children that did not have that early childhood education? Was it a social disconnect? Was it an educational disconnect?
I think it's a
Probably
combination of both. Socially, you could just tell that there wasn't a lot of social connections. They had, knowing how to play with one another, knowing how to communicate with one another, having tantrums and things like that. When things don't go their way, they just don't know how to deal with those things. And then, from an educational standpoint, children, there's some research that the Florida Chamber has put out recently, and children that have at least a pre-K experience in that age of 4 to 5, as you spoke about, Kelly, when they get to kindergarten, they're more apt to be prepared not only for the rigors of school, but if they don't get that, the research shows through our Florida Chamber data that they could be anywhere from 12 to 14 months behind already at the age of 5 in math skills and in reading skills already.
It's amazing how advanced, the teaching is and how early now they're learning certain things. And I'll say both of my kids did go to early childhood because I always wanted to work, and I enjoyed that time at home with them initially, but I could only take so much. It was good for us to both have that separation, but the separation anxiety that the children go through too, I think, and the parents. I'll never forget walking into kindergarten with my daughter, and even though she'd been in, like I said, early education, I would walk in carrying her every day. That's just, as a mom, that's what you do. And the kindergarten teacher, and I'm surprised I don't remember her name, she could be talking to other parents. She would walk up to me, grab my daughter Jada out of my arms, who's 16 now, by the way, and take her from me. But as a mother, it was devastating. I don't know how many times I went crying to the principal's office and said, I demanded this woman be gone. How terrible that she pulls her from my arms. But it's such an emotional, there's a lot of emotions running between the children that are there and the parents themselves. And I think I can only imagine if she had not had any early education and had that time to be separated from me, how bad, it could have been for both of us. Almost devastating. Yeah,
when you look from a science and a medical standpoint, about 85% of a child's brain is developed at the age of 3. And so it's just really compelling what we need to be doing in the space during this stretch of time for our children. And so, I see myself not only, as an executive working for a nonprofit, but I see myself as as an advocate for the youth in our community to make sure that we're providing equitable access is really what it comes down to, I think, because we've got, we just have that disconnect where about maybe half of our children are getting the pre-K experience. It's funded by the state, so it's paid for.
Isn't there quite a waiting list, though, for some of the programs?
Well, when you're talking about pre-K, every child is afforded that opportunity. What they need, what would make it a little complicated is just looking at a specific center and making sure that they have capacity.
So at what age does the Early Learning Coalition recommend that children become involved in the educational system? Do you advise that they wait till age 3 or even earlier than that?
I think our advocacy is obviously that the parent becomes the child's first teacher, or caregiver. That could be grandparent.
But then the state then funds the pre-K education when they're 3 and 4 years old. So
pre-K, the law just changed that you could do 5 as well. So children that are have an older birth date in 4, or what I would consider a younger 4-year-old, can wait until they're 5 now.
Well, I know my son too. He turned 5 in August, right when the cutoff is, and everyone said I should have waited and put him in another pre-K program, and then actually put him into kindergarten the following year, because he was one of the younger kindergartners. But and the whole teacher pulling her out of my arms. Apparently, I wasn't supposed to carry her. When they're in kindergarten, you're no longer supposed to carry them into school. So that was the whole purpose of her pulling her from my arms and then me being distraught.
Currently talking with Dr. Steve Knobl, Chief Executive Officer with the Early Learning Coalition of Hillsborough County. You'll learn more about them and their resources over at ELCHC. That is that acronym, ELCHC.org. You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie and Kelly, where business becomes show business.
Have you ever tried to buy a home for your family only to find out that you don't qualify for a mortgage loan? You thought that after 20 years as a customer of your bank, they would help you when you needed it the most, right? Unfortunately, the banks of today are not the banks of our parents and grandparents, and our relationships with them just don't matter anymore. My name is Frank Cotto, and I'm the president of the Lincoln Lending Group. We all may need a bank, but we also need a Frank, and that's what I'm here to do for you today. Lincoln Lending Group will waive all of your lending fees, which include your mortgage, application fee, your underwriting fee, processing fees, and any bank points. Just call 813-MORTGAGE. You drop the E, and we'll drop the fee.
In an age when the good and the better vie for attention, it is the best that stands out. The best of Tampa Bay from Proudly Florida is the love story for the city of Tampa, celebrating success, sharing achievements, a tribute to enterprise and community spirit. Let Proudly Florida showcase your business to your city, your nation, and the world. For more information, email info@proudlyflorida.com and be sure to visit proudlyflorida.com.
How many times have you said to yourself, I wish there was an app for that? Stop wishing and start making the world better. Turn your brilliant idea into a profitable business by using Popcorn apps. Their affordable app design will help get your blue sky idea or proven business to the next level at a fraction of the cost of other developers. They will help you get through all the steps needed to make your thoughts become live. See them at popcornapps.com with a K in popcorn, or call them at 727-415-6705 for your free consultation and pop your kernel of an idea into $1 million business and a world changer starting today.
Teresa Turner is a certified public accountant and the founder of Tax Happens, a boutique-style CPA firm providing small businesses and individuals with hands-on, personalized tax and accounting services. Although we would love to tell you how happy their clients are, we would like you to see for yourself. Tax Happens has 21 Google reviews and a 4.8-star Google rating, 17 Yelp reviews and a 5-star Yelp rating, 38 Facebook reviews and a 4.9-star Facebook rating. What sets Tax Happens apart is number 1, upfront pricing, 2, clear deadlines, 3, personally available year-round, and number 4, a willingness to empower clients to do as much or as little as they desire. Visit taxhappens.com for more information. If you've been following That Business Show on Facebook and Twitter, you may have noticed the quality of some of our images. That's because one of our sponsors is pro photographer Rick Taseda, a member of the Professional Photographers of America. You can view his extensive work by going to his website at ricktaseda.com or call him for an appointment to chat about your photography needs at 813-641-4757. That's 813-641-4757. Rick Taseda Visuals. Call him for your next event or project.
Savvy business owners utilize technology to connect with customers, communicate among teams, and collaborate with partners. Even with advances in technology, you all know it's not infallible. Where do you turn when your technology starts working against you? Who do you depend on to keep your team productive? Don't wait until your technology fails you. Get ahead of the crisis and contact the professionals at Alpha Computing Solutions so they can show you how to keep your technology running smoothly. Visit them online at www.alphacomputing.com.
Are you in need of new flooring or ready to tackle that home remodeling project? Then contact Yeager & Company Incorporated, a family-owned, state-certified general contracting business with over 70 years of experience and the recipient of the Angie's List Super Service Award for the last 8 years in multiple categories. Yeager & Company comes to you with their shop-at-home flooring sales service, and their hardwood flooring refinishing is the very best in the Bay. Kitchen and bath design featuring American-made, well-born cabinets, and all work is done by employees, not subcontractors. Learn more at YeagerFlooring.com.
From the RP Funding Traffic Network.
Biggest delays around the area, north and southbound I-75, northbound from 301 to just past State Road 60, southbound from Fletcher Avenue to just past Dr. King. Also seeing foggy conditions in eastern Hillsborough County, eastbound and westbound I-4 slow from Plant City over to Mango, southbound Veterans Expressway slow from just south of 54 to Ehrlich. See traffic problems? Call the injury firm of Abrahamson Urich, Hillsborough Traffic Tip Line 866-545-9595.
This report is brought to you by the Foundation for a Better Life.
While many rose up with violence, he sat down for peace. Mahatma Gandhi reached out with the strength he cultivated within his soul. So, pass it on from the Foundation for a Better Life at values.com.
Some dense fog this morning, then mostly sunny with a high 76. Tonight, clearing with a low 60. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, high 73.
You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie and Kelly on 1250 Winds WHNZ. Missed the show? Then head over to TampaBayRadio.com, where all shows are available on demand. Once again, here are your hosts, Jamie and Kelly.
And welcome back to That Business Show with Jamie and Kelly, where business becomes show business. Currently talking to Dr. Steve Knobl, Chief Executive Officer with the Early Learning Coalition in Hillsborough County. You can learn more at elchc.org.
So how does early childhood learning, how does that benefit our community?
Well, we've got a lot of stats that we could certainly go into, but I think that, to me, the most impactful one is by 2020, 65% of the jobs in the U.S. are going to require post-secondary education and training beyond high school.
I thought you were going to say they're going to require preschool.
And where we are right now is, when we start looking at some of the data, it's impactful where we are. 70% of the state prisons are populated with high school dropouts.
Really?
20% of Americans read below the level they need to earn a living wage. And so when you start looking at earnings and you start looking at incarceration and you start looking at on the back end, what I talk about with business folks for their ROI and their return on their investment is reversing our thinking to put those dollars on the front end. The research varies with what you'll see, but it could be anywhere from for every dollar invested in early childhood, the return could be anywhere from $8 to $17 for every dollar.
Okay.
So that's a pretty nice return. From a business standpoint, the challenge I think with our business community is being able to measure that right away. And when you're dealing with children or human beings, sometimes, especially in that age space where you're not testing, and doing all those different analytics to have data, it's difficult.
Well, I don't think you'd ever realize that those numbers are the way that they are, and that there are still so much illiteracy issues going on anywhere.
Yes, and so I think the biggest thing that I'm trying to impress upon the community is awareness, the importance of funding our earliest children.
So how can the community get involved and help?
So the state funds education, early childhood education, is only about 4% of the budget. So what my board and what my staff is working hard at is trying to find private citizens that would like to invest in improving the quality of the early learning environments. And we can do that by zip code. If there's specific zip code areas that are struggling, we could do it by specific neighborhoods and things like that. So we've got a plan. So if folks have an interest, certainly encourage them to reach out to me directly or reach out to our association to see how they can help.
You got some amazing stats about how does early learning impact a child's future success. I mean, you're saying earlier the fastest rate of brain development occurs in the first 3 years of their life, and 30 million more words are heard by a 3-year-old from a professional family than are heard by a 3-year-old from a family in poverty. Just some incredible statistics. And you and your wife, too, I think, is in the educational system, too. Why did you all choose education as your career paths?
I think it goes back to having great teachers myself. I know you'd mentioned the teacher that was prying your daughter away. I mean, Miss Town was my kindergarten teacher. Mr. Knapp was my 4th grade teacher. I still remember my best teachers because aside from our parents, which, my parents are fantastic and really laid the foundation for me, our teachers fall right behind that.
When you think back, I can remember every teacher I had growing up. When you go back to kindergarten, first, second, I can name them to this day. So they are quite impactful, and it's quite an accomplishment, I think, as a teacher to be remembered. As these kids become adults, they still remember you.
Yeah, I remember them too. So, well, Dr. Steve Knobl, a good discussion, and thank you for what you're doing for our community.
All right, thank you for having me.
Congratulations again.
Absolutely. Dr. Steve Knobl, the Chief Executive Officer of the Early Learning Coalition of Hillsborough County, and learn more about their resources over at that website, elchc.org. Again, elchc.org. Learn more about us at tampabayradio.com, and if you'd like to come onto the program, visit tbsinterview.com. You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie and Kelly, where business becomes show business.
I feel guilty that I can't always be there when Mom feels stuck at home. She was always there for us. But now she can't get out, and I'm not always available to take her places. Someone else needs to help her get around. Then I learned about Home Instead. Now Mom can do what she enjoys because her personal caregiver is there, and I can just be a daughter again.
Are you struggling to care for your loved one? We can help. Home Instead Senior Care. To us, it's personal.
Hi, welcome to Yeager's. We just want to take a minute and show you what we're all about. At Yeager's, our primary business is hardwood flooring, although we are remodelers for kitchen, bath, and general construction. We operate a fleet of shop-at-home vans that have all the flooring-type products, hardwood flooring, laminate flooring, tiles, stone, what have you. So we're able to come out first with products in our vehicles and take a look at the setting, how the colors will work, and then to be able to come up with some options and ideas for you. If that's not good enough, we have a large distribution center that we inventory product and have a nice display area.
Hillsborough County, eastbound and westbound I-4 slow from Plant City over to Mango. Southbound Veterans Expressway slow from just south of 54 to Ehrlich. See traffic problems? Call the injury firm of Abrahamson Uterick. Hillsborough traffic tip line 866-545-9595.
This report is brought to you by SOS Children's Villages. War, poverty, and disaster have left millions of children around the world orphaned, abandoned, alone. When their parents can't be there, SOS Children's Villages is there in 134 countries, including the U.S. To make a difference in a child's life, go to sosusa.org.
1250 winds, Weather Center forecast. A little chill in the air this morning, drier air as well with the front yesterday pushing all of that moisture out. High mid-70s, sunshine with a few scattered clouds will stay dry today. Tomorrow we'll see that front move in. Overnight low Thursday in the upper 40s and then a high of only low 60s on Friday. Impact Radio 1250 winds, WHNZ.
You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie and Kelly on 1250 Winds WHNZ. Missed the show? Then head over to TampaBayRadio.com, where all shows are available on demand. Once again, here are your hosts, Jamie and Kelly.
And welcome back to That Business Show with Jamie and Kelly, where business becomes show business. Learn more about the program over at TampaBayRadio.com. And if you'd like to come onto the program, please visit TBSinterview.com. Next guest for the program is Allison Wilkins, owner of Alley Songs for Tots, and you can learn more at the website AlleySongsForTots.com. So, Allison, welcome to the program this morning.
Welcome. Good morning. Hi.
And so, continuing with our educational theme this morning, we're going to talk about how music, can be used to teach our children as well. So, first off, tell us a little bit about your business and what this is.
Well, my business is Alley Songs for Tots, and I've been teaching Music Together is the program that we teach. It started in Princeton about 25 years ago, and I've been teaching it for about 16 years. And it's parents as teachers for their children. So parent is the primary role model for their child. And our kiddos start as early as newborn.
Really?
We have newborn classes. So we start from newborn to age 5.
Now, are you teaching the parent and the child together?
Together,
okay.
Absolutely.
All right. So why music and why the program?
Music stimulates brain activity. Music is a good springboard for so many things. And it also is good for parents because it releases oxytocin in the brain. That old song that sing a song.
Makes us all happy.
Yes, to make us happy, it really does.
It does, yeah.
And so we also know that music helps with language development. So when we want our children to learn to speak, what do? We say da, 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 ma, 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 ma. Well, we want our children to learn to sing and develop musically. We sing to them.
Well, and it's kind of like as parents, we create these lullabies, whether they're lullabies that we make up. I know I had quite a few of those for our children, or ones that, are known. But that's kind of what we do as parents, or at least mothers. We sing to our children.
It's fantastic, Kelly.
Even without a voice, it doesn't matter. our children love it.
Thank you for saying that, because it reminds me of some research that has been done in early childhood development. One of the biggest obstacles for parents when they come to a group class like this is a parent will say, I'm not a very good singer. Well, the good news is you don't have to be a good singer to teach your child to sing.
They're our best audience. They don't care whatsoever.
They
just
just
love
like
that you're
mom
singing
and
to them.
dad.
Yeah.
They want to be just like mom and dad. So some of the research has supported that if you sing and you sing badly, but you sing to your child will learn to sing.
It's funny. My daughter and I will start. I remember the little lullabies I made up and sang to her as an infant, and it's funny. She's like, "Oh, Mom, stop!" Because I can't sing at all. Not a gift I was given, but it's kind of so. We used to love it when you were little. You didn't care that I sounded so horribly, but
and it's so good for them, and it's good for parents too. It's a great social outlet. It stimulates language development, socialization. It has also been linked to science and mathematics later on in life.
Now, what is your background? Is your background education? Is it music, or is it a combination thereof? What is your background?
It's a combination of a lot of different things. My background, my degree is in psychology with a minor in special education. And years ago, this is the short backstory, I was in the advertising business in New York. And one of my clients had a Music Together Center in New York. And I stopped in, and I was fascinated by this program. And she said, sit in on a class. So I sat in on a class, and she learned that I was a singer, that I had studied voice and drama for many years and always worked with children all my life. And she said, I'm looking for part-time teachers.
Oh, wow.
So I took the training, and that's almost 17 years ago, and fell in love with this program.
And it's wonderful to be so passionate and almost be a calling in a sense. And I'm sure it is. I can tell just by talking with you how much this is your life, and you're so passionate about it. Unfortunately, a lot of mothers go through depression, and when the babies are infants, and it's just such an emotional time for them. I would think that this program would help them. Like I said, they're happy, they're singing, and they're out of their own home and space, and in their own minds of what they're stressing about, perhaps. What are some of the statistics on that, or have you seen?
Well, I can tell you that you're absolutely right. And one of the hardest things for a new mom, people are couples for a long time, and then they have a baby, and there's kind of a disconnect.
Correct.
Because you don't really have a meeting place. And one of the really great benefits to this program is that moms can come in and meet each other and be in a place where they can commiserate after class, talk about sleep deprivation, and have that time in a safe setting to be able to sing with each other. And this is not a performance-based program. And I always tell my parents that. We want to instill a love for music both in the parents and in the children.
Do you have mostly just mothers coming in with the children, or mothers and fathers? Are they coming in together?
We have dads that come. We have grandparents that come. We have a lot of nannies that come too. And our Saturday classes are super fun because we have mom, dad, and sometimes grandparents come along with mom and dad.
Do you also teach instrumentation? Do people play the little keyboards and stuff
Yes,
along with the songs?
we are branching out, and we're offering additional programs and services. Right now, we offer Suzuki violin. We'll be offering voice and piano lessons for children as well. We do have instrument play along in every single class. So our babies get to play African drums, we jingle bells, we play a variety of children's instruments.
It's probably
for
really
the
fun
kids.
at this time of the year with all the Christmas music.
It is.
I remember my grade school music class, and they had some interesting instruments back then. The different percussions and cymbals and triangles, and I miss all those instruments. Those were fun to play.
Well, you
back
can
then.
still play
Can
them.
I come over and play those? Yeah, all those things.
Come on over and take a free
deprived
class.
of that.
They did.
Right.
I mean, yeah, they had like a whole wall of different instruments, and you would go pick out one of the instruments, and you'd play it during the music class.
I remember.
And I'm a big lover of music, and so I've always taken to music. Unfortunately, I can't sing or play anything. I just enjoy listening. What age range does your program cater to?
Well, we start at newborn, and we go up through age 5. Now, occasionally we'll have children who are older than 5 that come to class. Moms always ask me, when do we stop coming? And I say you stop coming when your child says they don't want to come anymore. We do have some 6-year-olds that are still coming to class and really, really enjoy it.
Well, and you said you just recently moved, or you were in the process this week of moving to a new location.
Yes, yes.
Congratulations. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, we are expanding. About 6 years ago, Hyde Park Village had contacted me and asked me to bring our program to Hyde Park Village to kind of generate some more retail traffic, bring more shoppers to the village. I never in my wildest dreams thought it would develop into this. We started with a few mats on the floor and some posters on the wall, and we grew, and we're offering lots of classes. We've run about 18 to 20 classes a week out of Hyde Park Village.
Oh, wow.
And we've just relocated to a larger space where we will have 2 studios and 2 bathrooms, which the mothers are thrilled.
I bet.
So they don't have to wait in line to use the restroom. But our grand opening is this week, and we're having a big concert on Saturday in Hyde Park Village to celebrate.
Now, I see that you've written a song and children's empowerment books called Monsters Are Afraid of Music and Angels Watching Over Me. What prompted you to write those books and why?
What prompted me to write the books is how important singing is to overcome fear. And throughout my life and through many of the children that I've come in contact with, kids are afraid of things. When I was a little girl, I used to sing in my bed. So I've been sitting on these songs for about 20 years. I've written them years ago, but we just put them to music. And about a year and a half ago, I lost one of our students through neuroblastoma, a form of childhood cancer. And I was visiting her and singing with her in the hospital and helping her to overcome. Certainly singing doesn't overcome everything,
Right.
obviously, but
No.
it did help her in her journey. And so Monsters Are Afraid of Music is dedicated to little Tisha Johnson. And it's a way in which children can sing when they're afraid of things. Every child that I know is at some point in their life afraid of a monster. I have one little mom of twins who has the book, and she said she tried everything. One of her twins had a squirt bottle, and at night she was spraying her sister, thinking that there were monsters in the room. And now one of the twins sings to the other the monster song. So it's a happy, upbeat song, but it's a way to release endorphins in our brain and to make us feel good.
So you started with the song and then the book came after that? Is that how that came about?
Yes, I
Okay.
started with the song, and then my daughter did the illustrations on the monster book, and so it was a family project. Proceeds from the book go to cancer research to CNF, Children's Neuroblastoma Foundation.
Oh, that's great.
And so we're very excited about that. And our newest book is Angels Watching Over Me, and it's also part of a children's empowerment series to help children understand that they are never alone.
So going back to our first segment, we were talking about early childhood education and the importance of, early learning. From your perspective, tell us why it's important to begin educating children at a young age.
It's important to begin to not only educate the children at a young age, but to educate parents. For parents to understand how important that time is, that bonding time. One of the things that saddens me sometimes is that in our culture we've gotten away from singing and singing in community and singing as a group. So my big part of my job is educating parents that to shut off the cell phone, to shut off all the electronics, and there is nothing that can replace the human voice. To just, like you said, just sit down and sing to your baby.
Well, and the time is so precious. I don't think when we're in the moment, we don't realize how fast these moments are taken from us. And here, when I reflect back now on my children being 26 and 16, you just value and you just, those moments were so precious. So yes, turn the cell phones off, put the distractions away and just really focus on your children and take in every moment.
Absolutely. And Kelly, what you said earlier about making up your own songs with kids, I mean, people sometimes don't do that. We get our CDs and all of the electronics, they have all this wonderful music, but to a 2 and a 3-year-old, making up a song about peanut butter and jelly,
right?
It's really
it's
super
amazing.
fun.
Well, and they don't know what the words go together. If the words don't go together, they don't know how the songs go. That's why children are just so amazing, because you can just they just take it for what it is.
They are, and I absolutely adore spending every minute with people under 5.
I can tell you too.
How do your programs work, hours of operation? How does this all come together for people that are interested?
Well, we try to accommodate everybody. Fortunately, there are some moms that get to stay at home, but a lot don't. So we have classes every day. In the morning, we have classes that start as early as 9:30 in the morning. We have classes in late afternoon for the kids who go to preschool a few days a week. Those classes usually start around 4:30. And then we have classes on Saturdays. Our Saturday classes have filled so quickly that coming in January, we're also adding one Sunday morning class. A little bit later for me so I can get to church and then get to class.
Right.
But we have classes every day of the week. And people can register right online on our website. I would encourage folks to come on out on Saturday. We're having a concert. Begins at 10 a.m. right in the main square of Hyde Park Village. And that will be a ton of fun. We'll have birthday cake, too, celebrating our 5 years.
Oh, wow. It sounds like it. Sounds like a great time.
And you can pick up the phone and give her a call at 727-289-9845. Again, 727-289-9845. Or visit AllieSongsForTots.com for more information. Currently, again, talking to Allison Wilkins, owner of Allie Songs for Tots. And you're listening to That Business Show with Jamie and Kelly, where business becomes show business.
Who doesn't have a smartphone these days? And of course, there's an app for everything. Well, almost everything. That's why the folks at Popcorn Apps started developing mobile applications. They saw people like you with genius ideas, unable to make those thoughts a reality. They develop applications for tens of thousands of dollars less than you'll find anywhere else, and will turn your idea into a reality in a matter of just a few months. Think you're not ready? Think again. They are your one-stop shop for mobile application development. See them at popcornapps.com with a K in popcorn, or call them at 727-415-6705 for your free consultation and pop your kernel of an idea into $1 million business and a world changer starting today.
If you've been following That Business Show on Facebook and Twitter, you may have noticed the quality of some of our images. That's because one of our sponsors is pro photographer Rick Taseda, a member of the Professional Photographers of America. You can view his extensive work by going to his website at ricktaseda.com or call him for an appointment to chat about your photography needs at 813-641-4757. That's 813-641-4757. Rick Taseda Visuals. Call him for your next event or project.
Savvy business owners utilize technology to connect with customers, communicate among teams, and collaborate with partners. Even with advances in technology, you all know it's not infallible. Where do you turn when your technology starts working against you? Who do you depend on to keep your team productive? Don't wait until your technology fails you. Get ahead of the crisis and contact the professionals at Alpha Computing Solutions so they can show you how to keep your technology running smoothly. Visit them online at www.alphacomputing.com.
Are you in need of new flooring or ready to tackle that home remodeling project? Then contact Yeager & Company Incorporated, a family-owned, state-certified general contracting business with over 70 years of experience and the recipient of the Angie's List Super Service Award for the last 8 years in multiple categories. Yeager & Company comes to you with their shop-at-home flooring sales service, and their hardwood flooring refinishing is the very best in the Bay. Kitchen and bath design featuring American-made, well-born cabinets, and all work is done by employees, not subcontractors. Learn more at YeagerFlooring.com.
In an age when the good and the better vie for attention, it is the best that stands out. The best of Tampa Bay from Proudly Florida is the love story for the city of Tampa, celebrating success, sharing achievements, a tribute to enterprise and community spirit. Let Proudly Florida showcase your business to your city, your nation, and the world. For more information, email info@proudlyflorida.com and be sure to visit proudlyflorida.com.
How many times have you said to yourself, I wish there was an app for that? Stop wishing and start making the world better. Turn your brilliant idea into a profitable business by using Popcorn Apps. Their affordable app design will help get your blue sky idea or proven business to the next level at a fraction of the cost of other developers. They will help you get through all the steps needed to make your thoughts become live. See them at popcornapps.com with a K in popcorn, or call them at 727-415-6705 for your free consultation and pop your kernel of an idea into $1 million business and a world changer starting today.
Teresa Turner is a certified public accountant and the founder of Tax Happens, a boutique-style CPA firm providing small businesses and individuals with hands-on, personalized tax and accounting services. Although we would love to tell you how happy their clients are, we would like you to see for yourself. Tax Happens has 21 Google reviews and a 4.8-star Google rating, 17 Yelp reviews and a 5-star Yelp rating, 38 Facebook reviews and a 4.9-star Facebook rating. What sets Tax Happens apart is number 1, upfront pricing, 2, clear deadlines, 3, personally available year-round, and number 4, a willingness to empower clients to do as much or as little as they desire. Visit taxhappens.com for more information.
From the Spectrum Traffic Center.
Very heavy traffic on the Suncoast and Veterans Expressway, anywhere from just south of State Road 54 to Gunn Highway. There was a crash blocking a lane near Gunn Highway. It's now off to the side. Very heavy traffic on northbound I-75 from 301 to past State Road 60. Crash in the left-hand lane near Dr. King. That's also slowing traffic down in the southbound direction, and westbound I-4 from McIntosh over towards I-75. See traffic problems? Call the injury firm of Abrahamson Uterick Hillsborough Traffic Tip Line 86.
This report is brought to you by the Foundation for a Better Life.
While many rose up with violence, he sat down for peace. Mahatma Gandhi reached out with the strength he cultivated within his soul. So, pass it on from the Foundation for a Better Life at values.com.
Some dense fog this morning, then mostly sunny with a high 76. Tonight, clearing with a low 60. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, high 73.
You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie and Kelly on 1250 Winds WHNZ. Missed a show? Then head over to TampaBayRadio.com, where all shows are available on demand. Once again, here are your hosts, Jamie and Kelly.
And welcome back to That Business Show with Jamie and Kelly, where business becomes show business. Talking to Allison Wilkins, owner of Alley Songs for Tots. And you can learn more about this at AlleySongsForTots.com. Now, Allison, you have a location in Hyde Park, but you have multiple locations. Where are you at around the Tampa Bay area?
We have a location in Lutz. We have a location in New Tampa. We have a location in Sarasota and Bradenton and Hyde
You're
Park
all
Village.
over the place. So how many years now how long has it taken you to have grown now into 8 locations?
Well, I've been teaching this program for 16 years, and one thing that I forgot to mention, which is super important, is that the program that I teach is worldwide. It's called Music Together, and it's offered in 2,500 communities around the world. Why that's important is that families who relocate to Tampa Bay, if they are looking for the program that they took in California or in Berlin or anywhere in the world, we have locations, they can type in musictogether.com and type in their zip code. So, for example, if you live in zip code 33606. If you type that in to the website location at musictogether.com, you'll find our location in Hyde Park, and vice versa for the Lutz location, New Tampa, Sarasota, Bradenton, etc.
And I can see music has been central to your family. You're the granddaughter to the late James Bridges, who is the conductor and founder of the James Bridges School of Music program in Pittsburgh. And so tell us about how important music was to you as a youth.
Well, as a child, I grew up with music. My grandfather was a conductor, and he played music. I will say, however, my brother was the musician. My brother was the one who was self-taught and followed playing the guitar, and I was always a vocalist and somewhat ignored by my singing, and it wasn't until high school, because my brother was the star of the family. And in high school, I was goofing off in music class, and the choir director asked me to stay after class and sing. He asked me to sing a solo in front of the room, and I was very embarrassed. I sang the song, and then he asked me to stay after class, and he said, "Who knew? You have a really good voice." Because my mother didn't tell me that I could sing. All the attention was on my brother. So I began voice lessons with Dr. Wilson back many, many years ago in high school, and continued that journey. And I would say to all parents out there to encourage your children to sing. And this is nothing against my beautiful mother, but she thought my brother was the musician and he was the talented one in the family. And the truth of the matter is, all people are musical. All children are born to make music. So we can all do this, and we don't necessarily have to be rock stars, but we can be happy and sing.
Well, I think it kind of tells you, too, when we have multiple children, don't focus solely on one of their talents, on just one. You know, they're all talented in their own way. So don't discount those just because one may seem more talented than the other at the time.
Absolutely. And it's really, as I said earlier, that our program is not performance-based, and so I can tell parents to breathe a sigh of relief, come on in here
And
just
just enjoy.
to feel good. Music should be fun, and in order to learn to play music later on, you have to begin by playing.
Yeah, I
Like
wish
fundamentals.
I wish I'd been exposed to playing instruments at a much younger age, because as I got older, I bought a drum set in high school. I couldn't figure that out. I bought a guitar in my 20s. I couldn't figure that out. My first passion was rock music, and I still love rock music, and I wanted to be a rock star. I couldn't sing. So you say people are naturally musical from when they're born, but I haven't found it yet. So give me some encouragement
Yeah, you
about
should
how
hear him sing like Metallica in the car. It's quite
Fantastic.
entertaining.
You need to come to a class. You need to come to class. We have a lot of daddy rock stars. I have to tell you, they open up on
Does
those
he need to bring a child? I
He
don't know.
can bring you.
Maybe I'll loan him my grandson. He could bring my grandson in. And...
I am so bad singing, though. I don't even like to hear myself sing along to the songs, even when I'm by myself, because a lot of people will sing in the shower, sing in the car. So I don't even want to hear myself sing along to the song. It's that bad. So I
think it's kind of fun.
There's
I've heard
still
him.
hope for you.
Yeah.
There's still hope.
But I do enjoy music. It's been definitely a component of my life. Listening from very young, it's interesting how music, we play a certain tone or a sound, and it triggers a certain emotion inside your head.
Absolutely. Memories, yeah.
Yes, it certainly
growing
does.
up, my favorite memory with my father is he was the VP of a restaurant chain, and one of his duties was creating the music for all of the restaurants. And I remember being in the basements with these big headphones on our heads, and we would pick all of the songs to go in, and that the restaurants would play, and that was our thing we did together. And that going into these restaurants and hearing the songs that my father and I picked together. And a lot of that was like Casey and the Sunshine Band and Earth, Wind and Fire back in the I guess late 70s.
Mm-hmm.
But I would cherish that memory for the rest of my life. It was wonderful.
Well, a good discussion here on the morning program here at That Business Show with Allison Wilkins, owner of Alley Songs for Tots. So, Allison, thank you so much for being in studio today.
Thank you, Allie.
Thank you for having me. It's been a lot of fun.
And again, multiple locations across the Tampa Bay area, using music to educate children. Come in with your tot and learn to sing and bond with your child through the use of her program, Alley Songs for Tots. And you can learn more at alleysongsfortots.com or give her a call at 727-289-9845. 727-289-9845. Stay tuned. Coming back from the break, it'll be Working Women Wednesdays on That Business Show with Jamie and Kelly, where business becomes show business.